Okay, so what we realized during this time is that individual system, a house having a solar energy system, a solar panel is there, you have an inverter, you have battery, and you run the renewable energy plant at home or a small setup. The whole thing is actually has lots of redundancy in it. For example, if you want an inverter for 1 kilowatt, it might cost X rupees, and if there is a 6 kilowatt inverter, the price is 3x, not 6x. And if you consider solar panel buying in bulk, it is also cheaper if you buy in the bulk. And the system design, when you do it for individual system, has very high factor of safety, which adds to the redundancy. So what if you connect multiple houses, that is loads, to a single energy generating source? Will that have an advantage? Yes, that does have. I mean, it is like, as I told you, an inverter for a 6 kilowatt is half the price of a 6 numbers of 1 kilowatt system. So while I was working in this for last 1 year, earlier I also worked with a social entrepreneur, a very good social entrepreneur called Selco, where I had done some rural electrification projects. I could figure out that there is lots of scope in building some sort of a microgrid, where which you have multiple houses connected to an electrical network, and you set up a renewable energy plant, and that will feed all these houses. So, and the thing is, renewable energy by itself is considered not reliable, and that's where is an opportunity for an electronics engineer. And the reasons for issues in reliability is like the industry has not been for like as long as your thermal power plant. I mean, at the level of quantity level, not at the qualitative level, at the quantity level it's been less. So there's lots of scope in renewable energy where an electronics engineer can spend his time. So this is a typical opportunity that I'm speaking about. A typical renewable energy plant is like an energy farm. They are not exactly like you put 10 kg of soft coal and you get X amount of energy, something like that. It is dependent on weather parameters, sunlight, wind, things like that. So if we build a system like this in connection with other renewable energy systems like a wind turbine or maybe a biogas or anything like that, and also connect the grid, assume there is no grid penetration at all in that place, then this system will work autonomously and power the houses. But if there is a grid, you can also connect it to the grid as a contingency plan, or even a diesel generating system if the renewable energy fails for some reason. So this is a microgrid which can actually provide energy solution for the remote areas. Like in India, there are 400 million Indians don't have access to electricity, and more than that have intermittent access. So this can potentially solve the problem. Assume we do the proof of concept next year. This is our dream project. We want to do it probably whole of next year. We do the proof of concept for this particular setup and see that it works, or with help of some engineers like you who are sitting here, we make it better and it works. Then you can actually have multiple microgrid in that village, multiple of them. And then probably you can even interconnect these microgrids together. Then you can probably have some kind of a setup which can do energy sharing amongst microgrid. Assume one of the microgrid is not underutilized or is having excess energy stored in the system. Probably it can be put in the other thing. So if you can actually scale it to the level of all the villages, then perhaps you can power all these 400 million Indians who don't have electricity. They might get it. Of course, there are many issues in other aspects like policy and other things, but still, as an engineer, I would propose this idea. And we can, in fact, all this microgrid can be interconnected and finally connected to the main grid. During months of summer, you can even give electricity to the main grid as well. So this seemed like a scalable idea that we could figure out in the last 1 year. So I pretty much came to speak about this particular slide here. So I'm open to questions regarding the whole slideshow as well as this in particular. Thank you for taking time off to this presentation. I hope you liked it.